Hello and welcome to another session on foundation course. So today we will conclude the unit 5 of semester 2 foundation course number 3. I repeat, foundation course number 3 for semester 2, unit number 5 MS Excel, which we had been covering since last 2 days. Today's is the last session for 45 minutes. So let's begin. So what we have covered so far in terms of Excel, I've given you the features of Excel, I've told you how to open an Excel, I've given you the toolbar ribbons of various functions that is available on Excel. I told you about the copy paste function in terms of paste special, when to use paste special. I told you about the cursors, how it moves when you're performing different kind of functions, and more importantly I spoke about formula. Yesterday we looked at a lot of examples in terms of formula, Excel formula, how the formulas are built in and you can write your own formula as well. We also looked at the functional library where you can enter an information or you can pick an inbuilt formula. Today we will look a bit more in terms of functionality, and in the end there is a data sheet I have. We will try to play around with it. We will try to create a lot of information and analysis out of the data sheet. All right. So functions library, yesterday we looked at this particular screen where you have certain Excel functions or Excel formula which is already built in, like auto sum, recently used formula, financials, logical, text, date and time, math and trigonometry. So relative, absolute and mixed references. Calling cells by just their column and rows such as A1 is called relative referencing. When a formula contains relative referencing and it is copied from one cell to another, Excel does not create an exact copy of the formula. It will create cell addresses relative to the row and column they are removed to. For example, if a simple addition formula in cell C1 equals A1 plus B1, it is copied to cell 2. The formula would change to A2 plus B2 to reflect the new row. To prevent this change, cell must be called absolute referencing, and this is accompanied by placing a $sign within the cell addresses in the formula containing the previous example. The formula in the cell C1 would read A1 plus B1 if the value of the cell 2 should be the sum of the cells A1 and B1. Both the column and row of both the cells are absolute and will not change when copied. Mixed referencing can also be used when only the row or column fixed. For example, if in the formula A1 plus B2, the row of cell A1 is fixed and the column of cell B2 is fixed. Basically what it's trying to say, let me open a particular Excel sheet. I will tell you what it means. I have data 1 here and data 2, and this is the result. Okay, let me take it to the left. So the cell address of data 1, the field data 1 is obviously A1, but the data will be on A2. You see this A2, that's a cell address. Likewise, the address of data 2, the first sequence, or let me add a serial number, this will be helpful for us to identify. So say for example we are going to enter 5 different data variables now. Okay, there are 5 different data variables. Here the address for data variable number 1, for data 1 on serial number 1 is B2. This is C2 and this is a result. Now the result that I want is an addition of this plus this, which is B2 plus C2. So I will say B2 plus C2. How did I get here? I just use the arrow key on the keyboard. So right now it is showing as 0. So I say 2 and 2, it's 4. If I copy this cell here, basically it will copy the formula. So if I say 3 and 3, it will automatically pick 6. because when I am creating another line here, the cell address now is D3. Here it is C2, it will automatically become C3, it will pick C3 again. So, Excel works in a function where it always picks whichever line it is in, but you can change that. Say for example, my entire functionality says, or the result I want is whatever data I have on B2 should be added to whatever data I have in this particular column. Now, if I have 3 here, it will add 3 plus 3, but I do not want that to happen. I want the data on this column to get added to data which is here on this particular cell, which is B2. How do I do that? That is what the PowerPoint is talking about, okay, where it is an absolute reference. So, I will edit my function. So, instead of B3, I will change it to B2. Okay. So, now 3 plus 2 is 5. If I do F2, it shows what 2 cells it has picked. But if I copy and paste this here, now what happens is instead of B2 getting selected, it is picking B3, it is taking the next one, because Excel is understanding I am taking a cell below that. So, I need to change that as well. So, what will I do? I will use the function with the dollar sign. So, I will put a dollar in front and after this, which means I am fixing it. Now, if I say or if I copy this function, which is an addition of this plus there is nothing here. If I say 10, automatically it will become 12. Again I am copying and pasting this, which means the moment I put a dollar sign, I am fixing one variable. If I say 100, it will become 102. So, I hope you understood this. Let me explain this all over again. In a normal scenario, I am adding data 1 on cell number B2 and another data on cell number C2. My result is B2 plus whatever I have in this column. So, it is 4. If I copy this cell and paste it here, automatically it will add B3 plus C3. So, this is C and 3. So, intersection is C3. Likewise, B and 3 intersection is B3. As I keep going forward, it will keep taking that particular row only. But I want to create a function where the addition should be whatever data I have in this column plus whatever data I have on this cell, which means this cell is fixed for me. This will keep changing. So, how do I create that formula? To fix a variable, I will use dollar sign. So, first I will select the cell, I will put a dollar sign before the alphabet and after the alphabet, then I am saying plus whatever I have here. So, 2 plus 0, there is nothing here, means it is 0. So, if I say 10, it will become 12. Again, my B2 cell is fixed because I am using a dollar sign. So, if I say 200 or if I say 198, it will automatically pick. This is helpful when you are creating a financial data where every information is getting added, or whatever function you are performing, there is one fixed variable against which you are performing that function. All right. Let us go forward. Linking worksheet. You may want to use the value from a cell in another worksheet within the same workbook in a formula. For example, the value of cell 1 in the current worksheet and cell 2 in the second worksheet can be added using the format sheet name cell address. The formula for this example be Now this is the formula, but we will do it in reality and we'll check. Okay. So let's see how that happens. So I have a worksheet here which says master data. So I am creating certain financial data here. So this is my master data. So let me create some information. Basically what I am doing is I am trying to create a price list. Okay. So I have a unit price, or I have an item, I have a unit price here. Okay. The first item is table and the unit price is 500. I want to give it a financial visibility. The second item is keyboard and the unit price is 200. So let me format copy because I want everything to come as an amount. The third one is mouse and the unit price is 175. The fourth one is a chair and the unit price is 800. And the last one is monitor and the unit price is 5000. This is my master data. Now what I want to create another sheet which says vendor data. Here I am entering goods supplied, quantity, cost. I'll explain to you what exactly I mean by this particular sheet. Say for example, I'm supposed to create a document where the first document talks about a vendor information, or I have an item list which a vendor is supposed to supply. So first sheet what I did, if you take a quick look, I have only 5 different kind of items that can be supplied by any vendor, and this is the price. I want to create an analysis. I have a fixed number of items which I will get from a vendor with a fixed price for each of the item. Unit prices, one table is 500, one keyboard is 200, likewise. Okay. In the next sheet, I want to track which vendor supplied what is the quantity, and what is the total cost. In order to get the total cost, I need to multiply the quantity of that particular item into the unit price. But I don't want to show the unit price in the next sheet. I want to pick that from sheet A. So my worksheet number 1, which is master data, is feeding information to worksheet number 2, which is vendor data. Now when I create a formula, one data is coming from another worksheet, a cell but another worksheet altogether within the same file. That is what I will show you. So the first one what I created is the master data here. Okay. So you have 5 different items with certain prices. Now I have vendor data. Let's give a name to the vendor. The name of the vendor is ABC. How do I change the name of the worksheet? Right click and rename. Clear? Great. Now what are the goods supplied? Only goods that is allowed to be supplied is these. Can I add computer? I should not be allowed to add a computer. It should be from this entire list which I have. So what do? I will restrict the data. How do I do that? The other day I showed you. I go to data, data validation and list. Now instead of typing everything, I already have the list created. So what will I do? I will click here on this icon. The moment I click here, I cannot go to this particular sheet, right? So obviously I need to have that information saved. So I will copy this and I will paste it here. Now I will go to data, data validation, list, and the list will pick any of these 5 items only. And I say OK, and let me delete it. Now whichever cell I am in, I'm sorry, for some reason it's not picking up. Let me quickly redo this. Okay. Just a moment, I don't know why it's not visible. Let me quickly save the document, probably that will help. Okay, so I'm selecting this and I'm saying OK. Thing is, I cannot delete it. So I'm just going to create the list somewhere here so that it's not really visible. Let me clear everything and I want to recreate the list. Oops, just a moment please. Something is going wrong with my sheet. Okay, so let me clear everything. I'm going to redo it. Okay. So all these 5 cells, it will pick a list and the list is saved somewhere here. All right. Now let's go. So when I come to this particular cell, it will only allow me to pick data from these. I cannot pick anything else because my master data has only 5 items. That's why the vendor data I wanted to pick only from those 5 items. Okay. Now I will pick any item here. Okay. So I need to ensure I am not repeating the item, because obviously why would I repeat an item? Because if it's supplied twice, I will directly mention that, right? So say for example, this particular vendor ABC is supplying only these 3 items. Now quantity that they have supplied is 15, 20, 25. Now I want the cost to get populated automatically. How do I do that? So let me quickly format this document. All right. So the cost to basically pick up automatically. How do I do that? Basically the cost of the keyboard is 200 rupees. He has supplied 15, which means 15 should be multiplied by 200, right? So ideally what I would do, I would have all this information populated here, and I will mention what has been supplied, how many. For example, no tables have been supplied, 15 keyboards supplied and 15 mouse and 5 chairs. This list remains constant for every vendor. The cost it has to pick automatically. How will I do that? Basically, I will multiply whatever data I have here into whatever cost I have already decided. So cost basically equals the quantity multiplied by the unit cost of table. The unit cost of table is saved here. So I'll just click here and I will say enter. Okay. I will add a format for financials to make it look a financial data. Now if I do F2, it says it's C2 into C2, which is in master data sheet. Now since I haven't supplied anything, obviously it will remain as 0. Next, keyboard equals 15 into cost of keyboard. I will copy the format for the remaining fields. Here quantity multiplied by cost of mouse. Likewise, chair quantity multiplied by unit price of chair. Monitor quantity multiplied by unit cost of monitor. So all this information is getting fetched from the master data. I have basically linked both the sheet. So depending on what is the quantity has been supplied, it will automatically pick the price. Okay. How do I put a total? I can do an auto sum, or I can click here, you go to formula and do an auto sum. It will automatically pick. Clear? Now if I want to create another worksheet for another vendor, I am supposed to right click and insert worksheet. Or since the same information is going to be shown for another vendor, I can copy this worksheet. Right click, move or copy, create a copy, and I click on move to end, which means it will come as the last sheet. Now it will come as the same name. I just need to change, and I change it to XYZ. But we need to quickly check the formula here. It's still picking, see, all of them will still pick data from master sheet. Now I'll change the quantity. Only I think I have to do is change the quantity. So automatically it will pick the figures, right? So I'm going to add another color so that it denotes a total amount. So basically I'm just formatting it. So now if you compare this plus this, the quantity and everything is different, but I have just simply copied the formula. It makes my life that easy. So that is how you link the file. Alright, so linking worksheet, you can pick a formula data from another sheet and take it to a different sheet, but you have to be very sure where you are clicking and which sheet it's picking from. Okay. Sort and filter function, I have already explained to you what sort and filter does. If you have a lot of data, you can sort it alphabetical wise, date wise, and you can filter as well. You can also do custom sort and filtering. So I'm going to show this next example. So I have a data sheet created already. This is an old data sheet which I had with me. So I'm going to make use of that. So please pay closer attention. I have a worksheet here which has lot of data. What does this worksheet talk about? This has name of certain people. It has the name of the college to which they belong. It has username or email ID. They have taken some assessment and they have the list of assessment ID. When did they take the assessment and what is the score in that assessment? Now it has only the definite score. I do not know the score is out of how much. For example, the first line it says the score is 9. 9 out of how much? I have the data, so basically it's 9 out of 30. So I have put a percentage here. So this sheet basically talks about a list of students belong to a particular college or list of colleges with their specific or respective email IDs, and they have taken a list of assessment, which date they have taken the assessment and what is the score. We need to create certain analysis out of it. What is the analysis? Number one, who is the highest scorer? But highest scorer in which test? That is the determining point. On any particular date, how many students have taken assessment? From a particular college, how many students have taken a particular assessment? From a particular college, who is the highest scorer in any assessment or a particular assessment? How many assessment a person has taken throughout? How many assessment a person has taken specific assessment? For example, test 1, how many he has taken, test 2, how many, or in a period of 1 week, how many assessment he has taken. We can fetch all this analysis from just one worksheet, and that's how powerful Excel is. So let's quickly see how to do that. So this is your entire worksheet. I have the header field and I have added serial number, and I have a total of 346 students or 346 data points. Now the first name that you see here is M. Shweta. Now M. Shweta will appear again. She may have taken multiple assessments. So first we will figure how many assessment each person has taken, and if I have test number 1, how many people have taken test number 1? How many people are from a particular college? Say I have this particular college, AER degree college. How do I do all that? First and foremost, I need to filter the data. So I will put a filter. When I filter, and if I click on this drop down, it will give me the entire list of college names. Right now the checkbox is on select all. Let me uncheck it, and sorry, I have selected username, my apologies. So let me uncheck this, and I am picking one particular college, which is Lepakshi College. The moment I say Lepakshi, pick Lepakshi, it will pick only the data for Lepakshi. I can just do select all in any of the column and it shows 26, which means 26 assessments have been taken. But by how many people? The same name can repeat. Okay? These are not all unique names. This could be repeat names. So there are ways of doing that as well. So let me remove the filter. Now this is my entire data. I want to see overall what is the highest score. So I will select the entire data except the serial number, because I don't need the serial number to get sorted. This is the percentage column. I will say largest to smallest. The moment I say that, the entire data will get changed and it will give me what is the highest score, which is 100%, the lowest score is 0%. Okay? If I want the data to be sorted as per date, oldest to newest. So 4th is the first assessment and the last assessment is also 4th, because this data is pertaining to only a particular date. If I want the data to be sorted alphabetical wise of student name, so I will select the student name and I will say A to Z. Now it picks the student name alphabetical wise. If I want the data to be sorted alphabetical wise for college name, I can do that. I don't really want to do that with username, but if I want to do it assessment title, I can do that. Test 1 is in the beginning, test 9 is in the end. Clear? Now I want to create graphs around it. How do I do that? So first and foremost, I want to create graphs for individual college. So I will select AER. Now in AER there is only one person. So let's move forward. I want to pick a data where there are multiple students. So this is Lepakshi. They have 26. There are 26 line items for Lepakshi. Now I want to create a graph for this particular college. So I will select the data, name I want. I don't want the name of the college. I want the test and I want the percentage, because I know they are all from the same college. Then I'll go to insert. Now I want to create a graph. Now everything is coming like this because I didn't select the data properly. So let me just copy this. I'm just copying the whole data into a new sheet. I will remove whatever I don't want. I don't really need the date. Just a moment. I don't need the score either because now I got the definite percentage. Okay. Now I cannot create a straightforward graph here because my test number varies. It's for different tests. So I can't really do that. So I will remove these two because those are test 2. I will remove this now. Now I can go ahead and create a graph. Insert graph. Now here is my entire graph. Okay. The reason the names are coming diagonally, that is because the names are too big. Okay. That's the only reason. Now let me remove certain names to make it easy for you. I will pick only probably 10 names. All right. So now I have only 10 names. So now the names are coming properly. Now what do I want to do? I want to change the title. So I can just double click and say test 1. Now what I want to do? I want to show the score. But before I show the score, I want to have the score in descending order. Whoever has scored the highest will come first. So largest to smallest. The moment I do that, automatically it will pick up. Clear? Now I want to show what they have scored. So I will just click on right click and data labels. The moment I say data label, individual score will show up. I don't really need this line, so I'll get rid of this. I also want to add another variable. Yesterday I showed you how to add another variable in terms of another axis. That is also possible. So say for example this is a score in maths, then I want to add physics and I want to change so let me reduce the number of data because I want to keep it as simple as possible for learning purpose. Okay. Now, even though I added the data, it's not showing in the bar because it's not picked. So I will click here in the corner and I will drag it. Now it will pick the information. So now you see the blue one is maths and the brown one is physics. But how will I know that? I need to add a legend. So I will go to layout and add a legend. And you can choose where you want it. I want to have it in the bottom. So I got it here. These are my student names. I want to increase the font size. I can do that by doing right click. I want to make it bold. I also want to show this course. I will say add data label. I want to make it bold. And I have done it. Now, apart from the score, I also want to show their age. Now, the age will be in terms of years, right? This is percentage. I cannot show in terms of percentage. So, let me add some number. Now, if it's not showing here. Now, if I drag it, it will come like this because this is a straightforward number and these are percentages. I need to change the format. How will I do that? I want to add another axis. Right click, format data series. I want to have that as a secondary axis. Now, the green one is a new addition. I want to show the secondary axis in a different style. So, I will say change series chart type and I want to have a line diagram. So, now it comes as a line and the legend and the axis gets added here. I want to change the color of the line. How do I do that? Pretty simple, like the other day I told you. Click on the line. Just a moment, it's not getting selected for some reason. Yes, right click, so I want to change the line color. So right now it's blue, I want to make it red or I want to make it whatever color you decide. The marker that you see is green in color, I want to change the filler. So I want to make it red. And I also want to show the value. So right click, add data labels, but it's not visible. So I will change the format. I'll go to layout, data labels. I want to put it on top, above. But I have so much information here, it's kind of getting all cluttered. I want to have a little different feel to it. So I will give a background color to the data label. So format data labels and I want to fill it with a background color. So I give a yellow. So in this graph, I am basically showing multiple information. I have the name of the students. I am showing their score for maths and physics. At the same time, I am also showing their age. The reason the age is coming as a separate axis because the scores are in percentage form and this is a straightforward definite number. So it also by default adds a trend line when you add another axis. Clear? Now I can keep going on and on about Excel for next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 1 year. But it's not going to help until and unless you work on it. Okay? So Excel, PowerPoint, Word, all this works only when you practice, when you put the learning into practice. So unfortunately, I haven't seen anybody asking any question even on the YouTube message board, either for Word or PowerPoint, even for Excel. But whatever question you have, please do post your questions, because these trainings have been conducted only for your benefit. Because when you go for job interviews, if you have these skills, it's going to help you further. All right. So this was the last concluding session for MS Excel. These are basic and little intermediate functions which I have trained you on. Make use of it, learn, explore, and try to test yourself as much as possible. All right. I'll see you soon. Thank you so much.